The Toronto Raptors are on the verge of trading their star player Pascal Siakam. It seems that a trade is evident before the NBA trade deadline, which happens on February 8th. Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat basketball channel. My name is Amir. Before I get into this video about Pascal, I just want to thank everybody for their continued support of my channel. I'm on my path to 500 subscribers, getting really close. So it would mean a lot to me if you guys could subscribe and support the channel. So thank you again. So the Raptors have already made a trade, obviously, a few weeks ago before the trade deadline. They traded OG Anunoby to the New York Knicks, and they're looking to trade Pascal Siakam, who's on a expiring contract, and he was looking for a max deal contract extension, and the Toronto Raptors are unwilling to do that. So he is going to be traded, which I think makes sense for the Raptors to trade him before the season ends, because once the season ends, he could walk away for nothing and sign with another team. So they're being forced to trade him, and they want to get some assets for Pascal, and so they have to trade him before the deadline. And he's been linked to multiple teams now, so throughout the beginning of the season. So the Pacers have shown interest, the Kings have shown interest, the Warriors of late have shown interest, as well as possibly the Mavericks, who assume he could be the missing piece. And I think the Miami Heat have shown a little interest as well. They're always interested in adding any star who becomes available, who's disgruntled, who requests a trade. So I made a video about this in the past and mentioned that there's no doubt that Pascal is a gifted two-way player. He's an NBA champion. He proved that he's one of the better power forwards in the league. He could definitely be the number 2 option on a championship team. He has a really good skill set that definitely could help the Miami Heat and help us possibly win a championship. It might be a little redundant sitting next to Bam Adebayo, but we need a real power forward on this team. Essentially, we need a point guard too, but he is really skillful and talented, and talent helps you win championships for the most part. So last year with the Raptors, Siakam averaged 24 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He was clearly an all NBA level type player at his best, and again, one of the best power forwards in the league. Offensively, he can help the Miami Heat with his versatile scoring. He would be able to take off pressure off Jimmy Butler, who's been injured all the time, especially this season, but in the playoffs last year as well. They might operate in a similar area, but he's really talented, man. You don't want to leave him completely wide open and give him that space to operate in or to take that jump shot. He's not the greatest three-point shooter, but he's capable. He's an all NBA player, so he'll figure it out. Jimmy Butler playing with Siakam, I think that'd be a great defensive duo in our front court, along with Bam Adebayo, obviously, and Jimmy's one of the best clutch players in the playoffs, so adding a third capable option who's won a championship before, who can help us defensively, who can rebound, who could score, would be great. So again, defensively, Bam Adebayo and Pascal would be a menacing front court duo. They're both super athletic. They both are lengthy. They're both comfortable with switching across all 5 positions on defense. I don't feel that comfortable with Caleb or Haywood doing that. They're undersized. They're not real power forwards. They're like 6'5". Pascal has struggled with defense the last few years. He's 29. He is getting a little bit older, but that's because he was the focal point on offense and he had to carry the team. So on the Miami Heat, he's going to be our third scoring option, essentially, depending on who we possibly give up if we were to trade for him. But behind Jimmy and Bam, he's going to have less pressure on the defensive end, because the Miami Heat, are known for their defense. So in order for this trade to happen, the Heat, they're going to need to give up some assets. Kyle Lowry is one that comes up. So Pascal's on a expiring contract, and he makes $37 million. I don't want to give up a shit ton because there's no guarantee that he's going to re-sign. I think this would be a rental for the Miami Heat, and the only way that we would re-sign him to go over the second apron would be if we win a championship. I think that's the only way. If we don't win a championship, then I think this would be a half-season rental, and I don't want to give up a lot for that in terms of like draft capital. But To match that 37 million, there's a few trades that I looked at could happen based on salary. So that means the Heat would have to trade Kyle Lowry, who's making roughly 30, and then Caleb Martin is making 6 and 6 point something. So that those two match, and then you could throw in a first round pick as the ultimate sweetener. But ideally, I wouldn't want to give any first round picks because it is a rental. So I would try for Caleb and Kyle and a second round pick, and I'm sure that's probably not good enough. And people probably think that's crazy that that's what the Heat would offer. But again, they are guaranteed, apparently, to get rid of him before the deadline. So they don't have leverage at this point. The other trade that could happen, possibly if Miami wants to get rid of Tyler Hero because of the cost again, the following season, essentially, if they wanted to re-sign a Pascal, then they would have 4 max deals. Not sure how that would work. But you could trade Hero, and you would have to add in Caleb and another piece to match the salary. So like a Thomas Bryant would match. And then again, they're going to want a pick. I'm assuming at least 1 pick. They didn't get any for OG. So, but obviously Pascal's a better player, an all-star and a champion. So I assume that we're going to have to throw in a pick. I don't ideally want to do that essentially for a rental, but he could help us win a championship if he's our power forward, possibly. Who knows? We'll see. We didn't think Luka and Kyrie were going to be that great together, and they're seeming to play well, better than a backcourt duo of like a DeJounte Murray and Trae Young, which is obviously not working. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'm open-minded to it. I don't necessarily think it's the best trade. I think I'd rather have Donovan Mitchell or even a DeJounte Murray where we could keep Tyler Hero. Probably a better fit, honestly, but we still need a power forward and some size, which is evident. But anyway, those were my thoughts on Pascal. I'd rather have him come to Miami than any of the other teams I mentioned above. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a good day. Take care.